Welcome back to the deep dive. Today our mission is really focused. We're going to be extracting crucial intelligence from, well, a very specific set of sources.
That's right. We've got an astrological forecast and this accompanying narrative, a story scope. Both are zeroed in on the climate for Thursday, October 16th, 2025.
Right. And the goal here for you listening is really practical. We want to pull out the key insights on managing ambition, maybe avoiding burnout, and what balance truly means when you're facing, big opportunities.
Absolutely. And look, for anyone thinking this cosmic stuff is just ethereal fluff, the immediate takeaways are actually intensely practical. We're looking at a real flashpoint
Like the
moment.
flashpoint.
Yeah, a period where ambition, opportunity, and frankly, burnout are kind of colliding. Our job today is to extract that roadmap, how to manage those big chances without letting your boundaries just completely collapse.
Okay, yeah, let's get right into that, because that central tension you mentioned right off the bat,
Yeah.
that seems critical for anyone who's, well, ambitious.
It is. It pits this really intense optimism against the very real danger of overextension.
Overextension, so like burnout territory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're someone who runs on high octane, or maybe you just got some incredible news that demands everything, this period is a massive warning sign. It's screaming for recalibration.
Recalibration.
Yeah. The energy encourages huge expansion, like go bigger. But the foundation supporting all that, it might be shaky. The core message is pretty stark. If you don't check your boundaries, they are going to bleed.
Oof. That phrase, boundaries bleeding, that really hits home. It captures what burnout feels like, doesn't
It
it?
does.
But let's look at the first caution the forecast gives, because it's surprisingly grounded. It starts with emotional logistics almost. It says the path to healing old wounds is winding.
Right, not straight.
Yeah, and that we need to let go of this idea of a perfect healing journey.
Which sets the psychological stage perfectly. It's basically saying, don't expect smooth sailing, not even inside your own head. And we're warned to anticipate unexpected reactions or changes in people around us.
Especially those who can't really roll with the punches, as the source puts it.
Exactly. Rigidity is going to be painful right now. The forecast suggests that flexibility is key, not just in plans, but in expectations of others, too.
And then practical hurdles it lists. I mean, they sound like a frustrating Tuesday, but maybe amplified.
Huh. Yeah, pretty much. Miscommunications are high risk because the mind might have trouble tracking everything. Simple plans hit unexpected snags.
So if you've got your perfect week all mapped out, maybe just tear it up now.
Might be wise. But importantly, the material immediately reframes this. It doesn't just list problems.
Okay, how so?
It explicitly says these disruptions aren't random acts of cruelty from the universe. They're essential course correction.
Course corrections. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, these obstacles are actually preventing you from running straight off a cliff, which is exactly where that unchecked optimism could lead you. They're frustrating now, sure, but they might be saving you from much bigger problems later.
Got it. So the real danger is optimism just going wild, exceeding realistic boundaries.
Yeah.
And when those bursts of excitement hit, the forecast says tonight and tomorrow especially,
Yep.
the warning is about the inflated ego grabbing the wheel. Overconfidence takes over.
And the instruction here is like an active countermeasure. Instead of leaning into that big, grand, Jupiterian enthusiasm and promising the world, the advice is almost clinical. Stay flexible with your schedule and modest in your promises.
Modest.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you feel like saying yes to 3 amazing new projects,
This smart move is probably yes to 1, maybe even 0, depending on your current capacity. It's
Yeah.
about conscious limitation.
but why is it so hard to stop ourselves when we feel that good, that expansive?
Yeah.
What's the cosmic mechanism driving this tension? This source points directly to the Sun squared Jupiter,
Right, that's happening Thursday through Friday.
and it's combined with an opposition to Chiron.
Exactly. And that's the engine of overextension we're talking about. The sun, our vitality, our identity meets Jupiter expansion, growth at this challenging 90-degree angle, the square.
So instead of smooth growth, it's friction.
It generates friction, yeah. It supercharges your belief in your own abilities. It causes that tendency to overestimate what you can do and overpromise as a result.
You genuinely feel like you can conquer the world.
You really do. But that feeling doesn't always map onto the finite resources you actually have, your physical energy, the literal 24 hours in a day.
And the source material is pretty blunt about the consequence. It says, quote, if we push too hard, then our efforts may blow up in our face.
Ouch.
Which
Yeah.
makes you ask, what is too much, fundamentally? And the answer the sources give here, it really challenges the usual idea of balance, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're often taught that balance means like cramming every single demand, every priority, every opportunity, fitness class, relationship need, all into one perfect day.
Right.
The juggling act.
Yeah. And this material says that definition. It's a recipe for disaster right now.
Wait, so it explicitly argues against that. It says balance is not cramming everything in.
Correct. It states that true balance, especially during this period, is about choosing which requests actually matter.
Wow. Okay, that's a radical redefinition. It shifts the whole focus from managing time to managing selection.
It really does. And if you fail that test of selection, if you try to hold everything, the consequence is clear. Boundaries bleed.
And when does that feel like, when boundaries bleed?
Well, you know it. It's that late-night resentment, maybe. Or the exhaustion that just won't shift even after a weekend off. It's that feeling your energy is just leaking out because you've committed your limited vitality to too many things, too many masters simultaneously.
Okay, so if that's the mechanism, Sun square Jupiter, pushing us to overdo it, we need to talk about the deeper psychological layer, the Chiron piece.
The wounded healer, yeah. The sources say this friction is a pivotal moment for recalibration, and that genuine growth needs harmonious balance. Why is Chiron specifically hitting these issues of identity and self-worth right now?
Well, that's really the crux of why the overpromising feels so compulsive. Chiron often highlights our deepest wounds, right? The places where we feel incomplete or inadequate.
Okay.
And the sources actually details specific areas coming up for healing now.
Yeah.
Wounds related to independence, self-identity, even a sense of belonging.
Okay, so it clicks then.
Hmm.
If I have an old wound about my identity or feeling like I don't quite belong, then under this high-octane Jupiter optimism, the natural impulse is to overcommit, to prove my worth or prove I'm capable.
Precisely. You say yes to everything, maybe seeking external validation, not because you genuinely have the bandwidth.
Right, so growth without that solid foundation of self-acceptance just turns into chaos.
Pretty much. The push to expand gets driven by this deep need to heal something or prove something, rather than just, seizing the opportunity cleanly. The real challenge now isn't just managing your calendar.
No.
It's navigating this really delicate balance between overcommitting and holding back, between offering way too much of yourself and, conversely, respecting your whole self, including your limits.
This feels like the perfect entry point for the StoryScope, the bridge between suns. It seems designed to make these abstract wounds and cosmic forces really concrete.
It does, yeah.
Let's meet Leora. The story describes her as defined by fierce optimism. She's the person who always says yes to everything, to infinite possibilities.
Classic Jupiterian energy right there.
Totally. So when this mythical bridge between suns appears, she immediately volunteers to cross it. She promises she can make it. She can bring back the light.
Leora perfectly embodies that ambitious, expansive drive we're discussing. And the bridge itself, it's such a great metaphor for any major life opportunity that demands intense effort.
And it wasn't made of stone.
No, not stone. It was made of radiant threads of pure energy, just vibrating with possibility.
And crucially, it stretched between two suns. Tell us about those realms on either side.
Okay, so on one side, you had the realm of dazzling warmth. That's the opportunity, the passion, creation, that high-octane ambition we all chase sometimes.
The shiny object.
Exactly. But on the other side, a realm of cool stillness that represented reflection, rest, and unvarnished truth.
Okay. Two very different energies.
Very different. And Leora, driven by that perhaps chironic need to prove her worth, she reached towards both suns. She believed she could hold all that light at once.
And the story says initially it felt amazing, exhilarating. She was intoxicated by the potential.
Just like that Sun-Jupiter square feels.
Right. But just as the forecast warned, her optimism eventually turned frantic. She started stretching herself too thin, trying to manage both the intense heat of ambition and the quiet necessity of reflection.
Her balance started to bleed, just like the forecast said. She was trying to grasp both lights, both suns, at the same time.
What happened?
Because she was stretching beyond her actual real capacity, the threads snapped. She fell, landed on her knees in the silent space beneath the bridge.
Wow. So that collapse is her course correction.
It's the ultimate course correction, exactly like the forecast described. And what she learns in that silence, after the frantic rush of ambition finally quits, that's the core insight for everyone listening.
She closed her eyes, didn't she?
Yeah.
And stopped listening to the roar of expectation and ambition.
Yes. And listened instead to the rhythm underneath it all. Her breath, her own quiet pulse, her heartbeat.
Simple things.
The most fundamental things, and this is the quote nugget, the piece that really defines true balance for this period. Balance is not holding everything, it is holding what matters.
Holding what matters. So the lesson wasn't about developing infinite capacity.
Not at all. It was about intentional selection, about choice.
And the beauty of it is, Leora didn't just give up and retreat, did she? The story ends with her resolution.
Right. She started again. But this time, she walked the bridge with real intentionality. She gave herself fully to one thread at a time. The mastery wasn't about racing to the other side or even holding both lights somehow.
What was it then?
The mastery was learning how to stand between the suns, fully whole, fully grounded, and fully luminous. She learned to embrace both the light of creation and the cool stillness of reflection without sacrificing her complete self in the process.
Which brings us right back around to the synthesis for you, the listener. Intentional selection choosing is dramatically more powerful than just exhaustive effort.
Absolutely.
We've covered the need for flexibility, the danger lurking inside that wonderful Jupiterian burst of optimism, the necessity of choosing what truly matters over just maximizing volume, and the fact that real boundary management means saying no sometimes, saying no to things that bleed your vitality.
And that final state Leora achieved, after her fall, after the course correction and recalibration, that gives us the ultimate takeaway. The story concludes that Leora finally became what she had always been chasing all along.
Which was enough. Enough.
Oh, that's a powerful final word.
It really is. So if true mastery isn't about grasping all the possibilities, but actually learning how to stand fully grounded, fully luminous in both the shadow and the light.
Okay.
We'll leave you with this question to think about. Consider where you need to choose selection over just cramming more in. What one ambition are you pursuing right now that might genuinely benefit from a dose of that cool stillness before you take another single step forward?
Something to really mull over. Take that question with you.